category is, right? I mean, and look, Fred knows. I mean, what we just talked about right now, like for example, when I was in school, as long as I knew what the subject was and I made it to that class, I was all right. I never studied.
You have a set list of like winners to pick from, right, Jesse? Like you had a list of people.
Well, no, we have categories, and then he put in his top 3.
Oh, okay.
Right? I kind of gave you an idea of what I was, what
right.
For. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
On the air, we're talking about this. This is great, guys.
Yeah, welcome to us not giving a shit about the fourth wall, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Keyboard Warriors, presented by RepTheWarriors.com. My name is Eddie Law. That's Jesse Rubalcaba. That is Fred Kirby. And Ashley, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I am the MMA nerd. So thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. I think we tried to have you on like a couple weeks ago, and there was like an issue with like
Google. Connection. I'm so dumb with technology. It's not even funny. but Hangouts was not connecting.
I'll tell you this, man. At some point during this show, we're gonna turn into a pumpkin of sorts, and I'm gonna disappear for a solid 45 seconds. I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin.
You gonna turn into a fucking pumpkin, Jack?
Yeah, for about 45 seconds, I'm gonna be gone, and I'm gonna come back just pissed off because Google Hangouts kicked me off my own shit. It's dumb. I don't know. Google bought YouTube and screwed us all up. So, all right. Again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2019. Appreciate you guys coming along for another show. All right. So let's just talk about obviously the biggest event maybe this year, right? I mean, some of the crazy shit just happened on Saturday, and of course, talking UFC 232, the return of John Jones. What's up?
Narrow it down. Like, what was the best performance in your opinion of the night? And then we can go around here. So I know what you guys are gonna pick, but I'm gonna go with Ryan Hall submitting his idol BJ Penn. That was one of the best.
Oh, man, fuck you.
I'm just kidding.
Hey. Right from the jump street, you want to go on and put that in somebody's face. I see how this is going to be.
Real talk.
Because I know what you guys are gonna pick. That's why I gotta be different over here.
Well, okay, all right, fine. You can be different. What about you, Ash? What are you picking?
Amanda Nunes. You gotta 51 seconds. It was beautiful violence. You can't get any better than that.
Right. So people were giving me shit because I was between Ryan Hall and Amanda Nunes. The only reason I was about Ryan Hall because I was the only one in the place where I was at that was literally screaming out, "Holy shit! He did an Amanari roll!" And like everyone was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" It's that roll he did to get right into the leg lock position. It was beautiful, and I feel bad for BJ's knee, but no, I went with Amanda Nunes. I mean, come on, dude. Like, who else is like doing this shit right here during the fight? Like I was for a solid second until Nunes cracked it with that leg kick, and I was like, "Oh, this is real. All right, cool. What do we got?" And it was fucking crazy. Fred,
yeah, listen. I want to agree with you guys, but for the sake of proving Jesse wrong, I'm gonna go a different route here. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go whole hill with this shit too. I'm picking John Jones. Listen, I know the picograms, the whole most of it. But what definitely happened is that damn dude came back and mauled the mauler. 3rd round TKO, impressive as fuck, completely made all the changes he needed to make to take Alex out of the fight. John fucking Jones, right?
Dude, the leg kicks he was using, that fucking stupid, I called it John Jones kick, but it's like, was it the oblique kick he was using on him?
Did Alex hit him?
Yeah, he did. I think it was in the second round. He started trying to launch his combinations, but what's ended up stopping him was the way John Jones kept parrying his punches and then just attacking his legs. And I think if you listen around, I think they're saying that John Jones injured Gustafsson somehow, and he ended up getting some groin injury, which is why it was so easy for him to pass his guard in the 3rd round. So, John Jones, the man.
John Jones.
It wasn't extremely easy for the pass his guard, though. I mean, he had to work a little bit. He had to take him down and control him for a minute. And listen, to be honest, I think that John made a very astute observation after the fight. He was saying that, like, if you get the takedown on Gus, he usually pops right back up. But if you can hold him down there for like 15 or 20 seconds, he kind of just gives in, you know what I mean, and pulls guard and lets it happen. Seemed like that's kind of what happened. Like, he had to wiggle around for a minute, but once he got him down there, once he got position, that was it. Like, it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like Alex was kind of like ready to fucking play on the ground with John, which ended up being the beginning of his demise. So either way, listen, performance of the night for me, John Jones. I know there's a lot of fucking asterisks with that prick right now, but minus the asterisks, the dude's the fucking walking, living goat, man.
Hey man, I'll tell you what, people are John Jones fans, like the diehards that came out of their caves this last weekend, this last couple weeks, just legit. They're all sitting around waiting for that drug test, that post-fight drug test to come out, and the whole thing is funny, iffy. But DC coming out right after the fight on Twitter, that shit was just like, it was salty, and you could see that it was salty, but I understand why he was upset, right?
It makes all the sense in the world. If I'm DC, I would do it too. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Congratulate him?
Right.
At the end of the day, and I don't want to get caught up in this too much with the whole picogram shit, but look, at the end of the day, he did have something in his system still. Was it for microdosing? Was it leftover? Is it unfair to Frank Mir? All that shit is up for debate. But he did have something in his system still. Let me tell you something, Jack. If I took 2 L's of that dude, I'm clinging to that. Fuck that. You're a cheater. That's why you won.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know
yeah, absolutely. And 205 champ and all that. He calls out DC after the fight, and now I think he's like, Corey Anderson, you want this smoke and all this shit. Like John Jones is, I know, but I know he didn't want to see that fight. But John Jones is the cushy spot right now. He's as long as he passes all the drug tests, he's living in a good spot. So he'll be around for a while. All right, Ashley, since you picked the Amanda Nunes moment, what were your thoughts as that was going down?
Nunes or Jones?
The Nunes fight. Sorry.
Nunes. I honestly lost my shit. I knew I'd be excited about it because I picked her and I took a lot of heat for it. But as soon as she landed that leg kick, I pretty much lost my mind throughout the rest of the fight. I was screaming. It was kind of, I don't even know what to compare it to. But I guess when Connor was like finally finishing up Eddie, it was just kind of like she actually did it. It's just insane to think about what some of these people achieve in there, and that was just one of those special moments. So I was screaming throughout the fight, and then I cried like a baby after because I'm that way. So
yeah, no, fair enough. Jesse, with and I ask you first because I know you go against what everyone else says. Amanda Nunes, greatest of all time, female fighter?
You know what? Yeah, I would say yes, due to the fact that what everybody was pointing to after the fact. Screw everybody because I think I was the only one that picked her going into this fight, right?
Right. So you picked her. I mean, I picked her over on Case Press, but that doesn't count here.
Right.
But here I picked. I think me and Fred both picked Cyborg, and I was like, I'm rooting for Nunes, so I'm hoping she pulls it off.
Right. I think going into the fight, I saw what everybody saw after the fight, which was her strength of competition going into the fight. She had the more complete fighters going after her and her finding a way to win those fights. Again, if Cyborg had won, right, we'd all be saying, oh, it's another 135er moving up, not in her weight class, blah, 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 And so this just solidifies that Nunes is just the baddest chick out there. Going up in weight, taking on a competitor that had been basically crushing 135ers like nothing, and now getting stopped within a minute. So to me that solidifies Amanda Nunes. Now she has, I think somebody posted a picture of Amanda Nunes sitting on a throne basically with the heads of Ronda Rousey and Cyborg on her mantle. I mean, this is something she can basically rest her laurels on for the rest of her life. Like, she beat two of the top women. Ronda maybe a little out of her prime, could have still been in her prime, but Cyborg was honestly still within her reach to win this fight, and she got stopped in the round. So
what about you, Fred? Greatest of all time?
Yeah, man. I mean, if she ain't, then who is? You know what I mean? Like, it can't be Cyborg. Like, Cyborg's strength of competition was weak as fuck coming into this fight, to keep it a buck.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, like, hindsight's 2020, but like, now that we're here and we're measuring careers, like, it has got to be Amanda Nunes, right? Like, it ain't really debatable. Now, look, that shit could change. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get really caught up in MMA in the moment. Like, things change quickly in this sport. We'll see what happens. I mean, Amanda Nunes, like, right now, it's like, oh, who's going to beat Amanda Nunes? Nobody. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody's had that moment, right? Like, Amanda Nunes has lost a cat before. Like, I know it was a long time ago, and I realized that she probably would not lose that fight now. But, you know what I mean? Shit happens. Like, it doesn't We'll just see how all this shit plays out. But for right now, in this moment in time, she absolutely has to be the GOAT. Say what?
I muted myself. My bad.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So I'm doing like 8 things at once.
I will say this to touch on what you asked Ashley. In that moment, dog, I realized, like, I know why I'm such a big fan of this sport, but in that moment, like, that's it, right? When that shit happened, dog, I jumped out of my fucking seat and my heart was pounding out of my chest like a fucking kid on Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot get that feeling from other sports. Like stick and ball shit. I'm from fucking Dayton. We're close to Cincinnati. So like the Cincinnati Bengals are our thing. If the Cincinnati Bengals won the fucking Super Bowl in a blowout, I wouldn't have been that goddamn excited. Like that type of excitement, I can only get out. Like I don't even realize it until something like that happens. And I'm just fucking like high, kind of. You know what I mean? It's a fucking incredible feeling, man. And it's not really that I hate Cyborg that much as a fighter, although I am glad to see her lose. It was just, you know, that surprise, that shock and awe. Like I knew Twitter was going to be buzzing. Like when that shit happened, I was like, hell yeah. Like this is what the fuck I tune in for right here.
Actually, does Cyborg getting knocked out, not just losing, but getting knocked out, take a little bit of the mystique away for you about Cyborg?
Not really. For me, it was all about Amanda Nunes and just how good she is. And I know other people, it was like immediately with the Cyborg being overrated talk. I don't think she's overrated. I think her level of competition hasn't been great. But I mean, her fight with Holly, a lot of people thought she'd knock her out, whatever. But it went about how I thought it would. And Holly is not the greatest, but she's a difficult fight, and she fought her well. I just think Amanda Nunes is that good. I don't think it's a matter of Cyborg not being that good. I just think it's all about the Lioness.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think just the level of talent and the, I guess, evolution of Nunes definitely caught up to Cyborg for sure. I'm catching up on some YouTube comments here. What's up, Raider? She says, as far as like performance of the night, Nunes or Volkanovski, that Volkanovski Mendes fight was fun to watch. What's up, Jesse?
I said that was a good fight as well. I mean, being able to be the guy to, you know, kind of be under the radar and then retire legit, you know, top 5 competitor in your division, you know, on your second fight in the UFC. I mean, that's some badass stuff right there.
Yeah, and then Mendes retired after the fight, right?
Yeah.
I'd say it was definitely fight of the night. No.
Yeah, well, it got the bonus, but definitely thought it was fight of the night as well.
Yeah.
That was a fucking wild fight right there.
It's hard to give anybody performance of the night other than Amanda Nunes, though. Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, I mean, what she did to Cyborg, not only beating her, but beating her the way she did the first round. Like, come on, dog. Performance of the night was Amanda Nunes, no doubt about it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and let me tell you something, fucking Jesse. Calm down with that fucking Ryan Hall shit, okay? BJ Penn's 167 years old. All right.
So but he didn't knock him out. He submitted him. Which BJ's never been submitted.
Like a ninja.
And ask Eddie, the proper technique to defend that was what BJ Penn was doing, and he still got subbed. A lot of people are saying he rolled the wrong way. No, he was trying to kick off his hand. He just couldn't do it, and he got subbed.
Listen,
so
Jesse,
a guy that good getting subbed by a guy that nobody likes, that's pretty impressive.
Listen, when you are 73 and on a walker, I'm going to fucking do an Ichi Mommy roll on you, and we're going to see how good you fucking you little prick.
I'm going to call it Ichi Mommy now forever. Like, I'm never calling it Imanari roll ever again. Anyway, yeah. And Raider says, I was pretty surprised Cyborg went in with the same game plan as usual. To which David Copperfield's love child says, Cyborg had not fought anyone worth a damn since Carano. Nunes is the GOAT. There you go. And then
Carano might be a bit of a stretch. Was that like fucking 97?
But at the time,
Actually had a good point, man. I like to tear Cyborg down, but the Holly Holm fight was a good fight. I mean, you can't have them both ways. Holly Holm's a beast. She won that fight straight up. So I mean, you know, she deserves a little bit of credit. And you can't take all the credit away without taking some of Amanda Nunes' shine. Like the reason she gets all the shine is because Cyborg is a fucking animal.
Right. I mean, now like they're gonna have to promote her, right, Jesse?
Well, that was going to be my question to you guys, starting with Ashley. Do you think moving forward now we're going to get the bigger push, the better push for Amanda Nunes to be the star of the women's division?
I hope so. I don't know what more she has to do. Just when the pay got released and she was the only one out of like the 4 people in the last 2 fights, she's the only one not making $500,000. Like, I don't know why they undermined her so much, but if they can't promote her now, she's defeated Misha Tate, Cyborg, Ronda Rousey, all in just brutal, like textbook, exactly what you want from a champion fashion. If you can't promote her now, oh, and she's in the cutest relationship in all of MMA. Like, they're adorable. There's nothing not marketable about her. Even her broken English is cute. So if they don't promote her now, I don't know what it's gonna take.
Yeah, she was like saying thank you to like her girlfriend. She like pulls her hat down in front of her face, all embarrassed. That was fun.
Yo, just to play devil's advocate here a little bit, what do we mean by promote her? Like, well, what precisely would we like to see the UFC do to get her out there? Like, put her on shows or?
Well, okay, have her be like the fighter that goes to the events, right? Like you have like Brian Ortega that was there. You know, every time there's an event, they try to fly in some fighters. They try to show these guys. They try to do fan expos. They try to do a lot of with these good looking fighters, right? Understandably. But now they also have a new person that they can promote. Plus, I saw a lot of people saying that this is a person who has gone through a lot of struggle, being from Brazil, being in a same-sex relationship. These are things that are going to be big stories if the UFC can promote them correctly and bring in a new type of fan into this.
But yo, like, to keep it a buck, I think that's the disconnect. Because low-key, to keep it real, I think that's the reason that Brazil low-key don't accept her like that. Because Brazilians aren't big on gay shit. Like, just to keep it a buck. Because Brazilians are big on supporting their own fighters. Why the fuck wouldn't they be supporting Amanda Nunes through the roof?
But see, that's where you can promote her elsewhere. There's other places. There's other like I was saying with DJ before. There's other markets that you can market DJ to, like the gamer community. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he does. That's what he's about.
Well, hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, I hear that a lot. But just because they're in that world doesn't mean there's a spillover, right? Like, just because Amanda Nunes is gay doesn't mean that the lesbian community is going to like MMA. And just because Demetrius Johnson's into playing video games don't mean that video gamers are going to like do you really think that people have not been exposed to MMA? Like, and that, you know what I mean? Like, are gamers really getting into MMA because of fucking DJ being on Twitch? And I'm low-key asking, I'm you know what I mean? Like, for real.
I'll answer it this way, Fred. There's a lot of people that don't understand this sport still to this day, and there are times where you go and you talk about it to somebody and they're like, what are you talking? Oh, are you talking about that WWE stuff? Or, oh, it's fake or whatever, like they don't understand this stuff. Okay. Like there's a certain segment of people, gamers and other such, that aren't exposed to this. But if they have somebody that's a part of their community already, that gives them an entrance into it. Like, oh yeah. I watch this guy stream all the time. He's a pretty good gamer. Oh, he fights, he beats people. What? Like, and then they go watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing with that community. It's just somebody that they can say, look, like, we can also be tough. We can also succeed in this type of brutal sport and not be, this dumb, basically idiot fighter, that's just about the steroids and all that stuff. You can actually be, an intelligent person. You can be gay. You can be whatever you want, but still succeed in this athletic sport.
Okay.
I think having a variety of faces for the sport too is needed, because you can't have just like, even Cody, like he's kind of pretty, but he's tattooed up. He's what you'd expect with the UFC. And I mean, even just with myself, I have so many people who don't understand the MMA world and see things I post and are like, oh, I didn't even know that, like, people, like chicks who look so cute, like, and that's where the Rachels and the Paiges, I could see it brings in those people that only thought of MMA or the UFC as that stereotype of just bleed and violent, like blood everywhere stuff. So I just think it might not be a lot of crossover. I do agree there. I don't think a lot of gay people are gonna be like, oh my god, did you see Amanda Nunes? Like, I don't know if that's
both gay,
but it might be some, and it's worth a try at least.
Okay, fair enough. That's a good point. That's a good point.
All right, David Copperfield's Love Child says, think back to Nunes versus Rousey. Dana had the greatest opportunity to make Nunes a star, and he fucking dropped it. LGBTQ community, Fred. But right after that, Joey, God damn it, Joey. Joey says, Brazilians, Latinos don't like the gays. It's a religious thing. Nunes won't get any push.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like I said, just because in her state, in her country, she won't be a star does not mean that they cannot push her in other avenues. You know what I'm saying? Like, the social climate right now is perfect for somebody like her to, you know, kind of be the face of something. And, you know, remember, what was it last year or the year before, where they had everybody wearing the colorful shirts that said "We all fight" or something like that? We're all fighters, you know? Like, they're trying to do things like this, but they just are kind of tone deaf to what it is. Having somebody like this that understands, you know, what the struggles they go through and stuff, they could actually get a lot more out of it, and, you know, kind of put that story out there and just have better exposure.
Let me throw this out there as well, and not to say that this is any of this is actually like Amanda's fault, but I think she would have a lot to gain by taking a little bit into her own hands too. I mean, look at, like, for instance, maybe if we just knew a little bit more about her, and so look at what's the little mouthy prick's name, the Trump supporter, Colby Covington. Like, and I think he's putting on a show, right? But for instance, if Amanda Nunes, let's say she did support Trump, hypothetically, I highly doubt she does. Hypothetically, let's say she does. Let's say she just starts making that known. Immediately, there's a line in the sand. So fuck it. Let's say she hates Trump. She makes that known. Immediately, there's going to be people who kind of gravitate towards that. And I'm not saying to, like, play the political game to get fans, or maybe I am. Fuck it.
Yeah,
you are.
But I'm saying the more we know about you, that shit matters, is what I'm saying. And people feed into that. And that's how people kind of tend to, you know, start giving a fuck about you one way or the other.
Okay, so
because her performances are on key. Like, she's doing everything you can want from her beyond that. She just knocked out Cyborg. You know what I mean? So it's not that. Her in-cage shit is on point.
Well, how about this, Fred? Do you think that maybe moving forward, somebody intelligent, you know, can pitch the UFC an idea, since they're going to be on ESPN Plus, where they highlight these fighters, these fighters that have these interesting stories, like Brian Ortega, like Cyborg, like Amanda Nunes, you know, these people that you want to push, and they have all the credentials in the octagon to be stars, but people don't know the stories. Once they identify with the story, you know, the larger story, the larger picture of the person, then more people can identify. That's why I was saying back when they were talking about getting bought out, I was hoping that HBO would pick up on them, because the shows that HBO does is so damn good. And they have such good reporting on HBO, you know, HBO Sports and stuff like that, that they could do such a great job with exposing a lot of these. And not, I guess exposing is not the greatest term here, but like showcasing these stories of these fighters and making it into something where people can relate to better. You know,
absolutely. That's kind of essentially what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
So as far as the whole event goes, 13 fights, only 3 decisions on the entire card. Pretty goddamn good card to fucking end the year with, to be honest. Especially with the Nunes knockout being on that shit. Jesus Christ. Other fights that went down, obviously Carlos Condit gets sub by Chiesa. I picked it. Right. On you. Right. Yeah. Chiesa is a 170er. Like, he's big as fuck. You see that shit, Fred?
Yeah, this is where the Trail of Tears began for me, man.
Yeah. Are you convinced now, Fred, that, you know, Chiesa probably should have moved up?
No. Jesse, you smart mouth little twat. I'm not. Okay? Again, I'm taking the ageism excuse. All right, you understand me?
All right.
Goddamn, Carlos Coates 137. He's worried about his coffee career, whatever the fuck's going on right now. We'll see. Listen, all bullshit aside, he did look good. I don't think Carlos is as washed up as some might think. So yeah, man, I got to stand on my word a little bit. He actually looked good at 70. Now, Carlos Condit has been less than active lately. He's been on a skid. He's not the biggest 170 or so. That fight doesn't necessarily make me think we're looking at a title contender, but I'm sure he'll have a decent run at 70. I'm not necessarily sold that like he's going to come up and be a threat per se. Let's see him deal with somebody a little more active and maybe a little more big for the division.
Let me ask you guys this then, because obviously we all kind of have our picks here. Not counting the main card, what was your top performance of the undercard? Because I have mine.
Of the undercard?
Yeah, of like the prelims, like all the prelims.
Oh man, I'm stuck between two of them.
Okay, I'll go with mine, and then you guys go.
Go ahead.
Uriah Hall. His knockout performance was pretty amazing, and just seeing that guy get back that like edge that we've seen before was pretty amazing. And then his speech afterwards about his sister battling depression and stuff, that was pretty good.
All right. Hey, that was the one I was stuck between Uriah Hall and my pick Ryan Hall. Yeah, I'm gonna be inactive for about 2 years, and let me get that ankle there, BJ. Appreciate it. Thanks, dog. Appreciate you showing up. See ya. By the way, I'm pretty sure BJ Penn took home like $150K for a prelim fight, which well deserved. But goddamn, dude, that was at least he didn't get beat up like he did against Seaver, right? The Seaver fight, everyone shed a tear on that one, but because he got beat up. But this one was like quick. I mean, I'm sure he injured his knee, but it was quick. It wasn't like he got peppered by punches the entire time. But it's time. It's time, BJ. Like, I don't like to tell fighters to retire, but please, like, no more. You know what I mean? Fred?
Well, I can't in good faith pick Ryan Hall. Matter of fact, I'm going to be against him for the rest of his career as far as that goes. So.
I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm over it.
Yeah, it is what it is. Jesus stole my pick on Uriah Hall. So I don't know, man. I guess the next biggest thing that stands out for me, not that it was like a fucking favorite moment of mine or nothing, but it was a cat getting caught in the fucking eyeball with that toe. That was the damnedest thing I've ever seen, man. I mean, again, not my favorite moment, but just a strange moment. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen a lot of motherfucking fights, Jack, and I cannot think of one where the toe has went right in a fucking open eyeball. Now, toenails, fingernails, gloves, and a bunch of shit like that, but never like that directly fucking right in the eyeball, fight over. Just quickly on that point though, how do you guys feel about that being ruled a TKO or a no contest?
That sucks.
Like, where do you guys fall? What do you think it should be ruled as?
No contest.
See, I'm cool with it being a TKO. It ain't fucking Megan Anderson's fault that her goddamn toe went in her eyeball. She threw a fucking kick at her head. It landed and she couldn't fight no more. What the fuck?
Can I be conspiracy theorist over here?
Jesus Christ, Jesse. Where's the conspiracy with this?
She trained it. Good.
She trained it because she also ended her fight against Charmaine Tweed. I think it's Charmaine Tweed in Invicta with the same kick, where she also poked her in the eye and then finished the fight on the feet like that.
Jesse, I can't stand you. If I had a mute button, what's that show on ESPN where that prick gets that mute button? I'd mute the fuck out of you.
Around the Horn, I think. Yeah,
around the Horn.
You're not fucking. What is she, a sniper now? She's a sniper with her fucking big toe.
You know what?
People's eyeballs with that velocity.
Wait. You can throw a kick and make it on the end of your foot, and then basically try to dig in your toe somewhere in that area. You can train it. I'm
telling you, if we wasn't on YouTube, Jesse, I would show you my ass because that's about what I think of this theory. I do not think she's trained. Maybe she's trained kicking people in the face, but using her big toe to poke them in the eyeball?
Hey,
get the fuck out of here.
Real talk. Jesse's theory makes me even more impressed with Megan Anderson's big toe KO. Because now it's like, you trained it? Wait a minute. Yeah. Like, if she came up like, hey, I trained that shit. I'm like, get the fuck out. You're that good. Damn.
That's impressive.
Where you at, motherfucker? Come catch his toe. Like, Ashley, your thoughts on that?
I'm all in on this theory. I don't care. I think it's brilliant. She has me blocked on Twitter. So I'm super salty with her. I don't know why. I don't know. I never tagged the fighters, so I don't know why. So I'm all in on this. She's a cheater with her toes theory. She's the new John Jones, but with toes.
With toes. There you go. By the way, I'm impressed with the how few eye pokes there were in the Jones fight. Was there one? Right?
Only one.
I think there was only one. Too. Yeah.
Those picograms, they make him less likely to cheat in other ways.
You know, I'm telling you right now, I'm back to being a John Jones fan. Fine, fuck it. I'm back on board. I fuck with John.
Oh, come on.
What I like is how Fred was ready to like burn up that train, and now he's like the conductor again.
He's the conductor. He took the seat again.
One good performance, man.
That's all it took, man. And then picogram. Goddamn picogram. Picograms be damned. I'm back in, is what he's saying. So what are you gonna do? No, I thought TKO was fine. I mean, you know, it's a shitty result. I think for sure Cat should appeal it, see what happens. But it's just we've never really seen that before, as far as like, right? Has a fight gets stopped because of the toe. So even the Charmaine tweet fight where she got poked in the eye with the toe, she still kept on fighting, right?
No, it was right at the end of the fight. That's how she basically ended the fight. She got kicked in the eye. And then she turned just like Kat did, and then Megan like rushed her and like
oh shit
for the TKO.
I'm gonna look that up. Now you might got you got me interested.
Where do you want to see these ladies go from here? Do we want to see a rematch, or do we want to just see them go their respective ways at this point?
I want that rematch, dude.
I say run it back. Yeah. We didn't even get to see anything except the toe.
At the end of the day, what the fuck is Megan Anderson going to do except maybe fight Nunes, I guess? But Nunes is going back to 35, right? Probably for her next defense?
Probably. Yeah, for the title defense. But look, you give Megan Anderson the fight against Cyborg, and if Megan Anderson's able to defeat Cyborg, then you're rid of Cyborg. On 2-fight losing streak, you can cut ties with her since the UFC really doesn't like working with her. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. I'm down with that.
Not hard to do with that 145 division.
Although
so thin.
That's a bummer for Kat, though. If that happens, it's like fuck, she just gets shafted and don't really get her shot or nothing. But I mean, it is what it is. Has anybody heard anything about her eye? Has she put out any statement? Is she okay?
Yeah, she put out like a tweet, and it was like stitched up, but she's fine.
Okay, so she's good.
The eye is fine. I think it was just like a cut, like on the eyelid, I believe, or something like that. But yeah, she's good.
All right, let's see on the YouTube comments here. Raider says we're back to the Nunes being getting that UFC push. She says they made shirts just for the gay community and they didn't do well. They need to push the story of wanting to come to the USA. It's not a bad idea, honestly, with that one, especially right now. It's a good idea. But let's see, and then David Copperfield's love child says, he goes, fuck yeah, Jesus or Jesus, give these fighters a short 30 for 30. That's a good idea. Hey, look, man, if anyone has any context in the UFC's like Fight Pass or their fucking countdown group, 30 for 30. Especially if it's ESPN's 30 for 30. What?
Wait, Eddie. We should not be putting this out there because we could probably do something way better than any idiot that works for the UFC could do. Because imagine the kind of idiotic, just like can you imagine like Dana White narrating that? Yeah, and then these effing goofs came to the UFC and started winning. Like, no.
Conor McGregor. Every 5 seconds. Conor McGregor. Oh, be real quick. I'm sure you guys all watch YouTube videos. Have you gotten that stupid fucking Fight TV commercial?
I don't think so.
Okay, so there's an ad. Obviously, fucking YouTube goes off of the shit you search up, right? And Fight TV, the app or the pay-per-view, whatever the fuck little app they have now.
Oh yeah, I have seen that.
So there's like 2 ads they have, and the dude on there that does the voiceover like must have like some kind of throat cancer issue or something. He's like, what's the fight tonight? But he's trying really fucking hard, and it irritates the fuck out of me. Cause like you're trying to talk to me as a fight fan, you're trying to sound all fucking cool and shit. It's probably the guy with a Just Bleed like fucking thing on his chest from back in the fucking 90s or whatever, or the early 2000s, whatever that was. I don't know, just random fucking thought. Raider says, she's laughing, saying, praying for a big toe KO. Look, man, lightning struck twice. It stuck twice. And then David Copperfield says that toenail injury is what blinded that asshole Mike Winkeljohn.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It did. I think they talked about it right after right after it happened. I think Jordan was the first one to bring it up.
He was holding pads too, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot for who, but yeah, he was holding pads, got jacket. Now he wears goggles. If you're watching any of the countdown stuff, holding pads, he always wears like goggles.
Too little, too late, man.
Oh, for sure. But you know, hindsight. Well, for him, it's not 2020 anymore, but still. Yeah, sorry. I didn't think about that one since I went with it. All right, and then what was the other shit that I wanted to hit on this card with? Actually, that might be it. Arlovsky loses to Walt Harrison. Not very entertaining fight. Yeah. And then yeah, it's kind of it. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about with this as far as 232 goes? John Jones and the fact that he's number 2 in the pound for pound list now, and he's pissed at DC.
Yeah, I would say quickly before we wrap this up and get on to our little end of the year awards. John Jones, what do we want to see next for John Jones? For all of me, heavyweight or bust. I ain't got nothing for John Jones at 205. I don't even want to see DC cut to 205 no more to fight him. Like, it's heavyweight or bust for me with John. It's simple. And at heavyweight, have your fucking pick. I can think of 6 different heavyweights right now that I would love to see him fight. So it's just, for me, John has to. It's ironic that he won the belt at 205 finally again, because he don't need it now. And for all y'all, no disrespect intended, but if anybody's about to say Anthony fucking Smith, please, like, just don't get me shot out of a cannon right now with that bullshit.
Oh,
please.
Damn it.
Him or Corey Anderson. I'm off of those.
Please don't start with the goddamn Corey Anderson. It's just
I'm out.
How can you deny somebody that works that hard? Overtime, man.
The 25-8 or whatever it was. God, dude, has anyone come up with the 2 worst nicknames? He's like, I mean, one day this dude comes like, I'm gonna be 25-8. Fucking awesome nickname. No, guys, I got it. I got a better one. Overtime. And everyone like fucking looking at him like, what the fuck? I think Mike Winkeljohn was looking at him with 2 eyeballs, kind of like fucking freaked out. Yeah, but anyway, dude, I was all in on that rumored Cain Velasquez fight. I was all in on that. I was like, what? First fight? Yes. Yeah. Hey, look, sea level. As long as we're in sea level, we're not in Mexico or nothing crazy. Fuck yeah, make that fight.
I would rather see that fight than him and DC again. Like, that fight would be amazing. I don't care where Kane's at. I want it.
That'd be fucking awesome. That being said, he called out DC to come get your belt. No.
Stupid.
That third fight, if they do that third fight. Right.
Yeah, it's like heavyweight's the only thing that even makes it interesting. And you ruin that too. Thanks a lot, John.
What do you guys think about John Jones against Stipe? And then the winner of that gets the last crack at DC.
I'm in, dog. It just, as long as it's not 205. I don't want to see. There's nothing. This Gustafson shit was the end of 205 for Jones for me. I'm down for Stipe, bro. I'm down for Derek Lewis. Like, fuck it. At least it's a heavyweight. I mean, motherfuckers forget, dog.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
When Anderson Silva first moved up to light heavyweight, he fought James the Sandman Irvin. I don't know where Mr. Irvin is at these days, but you know what I mean? Like, it ain't necessarily got to be. Now, I would take Stipe. I think John could, you know, I mean, I think he's able to do it, but like, Overeem, I'm down for. Like, I could just almost damn near anybody at heavyweight. I'm in, dog. But Stipe, fuck yeah, let's do the damn thing.
That's legit what Raider just said. She goes, Overeem, capital letters. Like, make that shit. Only if you allow them both as many picograms as they want.
That's right, baby.
Overeem,
picograms out the fucking water. Let's have some fun, baby. Have that shit in Japan.
Like we're making this thing now. Like Ubereem against Picogram John Jones, kind of like TRT Vitor. But Picogram John Jones against Ubereem is the fight. Like, fuck yeah, let's go. I'm down.
I don't think so, because I think they train at the same place, don't they? At Jackson.
Listen,
ain't no loyalty at Jackson.
Overeem's gotta go, Jack.
Ask Cowboy Cerrone about that shit. He'll tell you. He'll tell you Mike Perry's all in on that. Who called him Michelle Perry this weekend? Somebody say I want Michelle Perry.
Shit. Ask Rashad Evans about that, Jack.
Yeah, Rashad. Everyone forgets about Rashad Evans being there. They forget about GSP being there, honestly. But yeah. David Copperfield says you can't give yourself a nickname, goddammit. Same goes for Rory. Forever the water boy.
Oh wow.
I forgot all about that. Goddamn. All right. All right. Anything else?
No, that was it.
All right. And as far as like someone was asking me on Twitter earlier about where we at on that Brock Lesnar fight. Fucking, you know more than I do because no idea. That dude re-signed with WWE.
Okay.
And
so the key notes there is that he's in the USADA testing pool, but since they're no longer releasing If he fails or not, we don't know if he will. If he
Okay.
failed. And the other thing is that in his contract that he did with the WWE when he re-signed is he has a clause where he can go and fight in the UFC, only the UFC.
Okay, have you seen him recently, like on a show?
No, I don't watch, so no.
Oh fuck. Okay. Anyone that watches, have you seen him recently? Does he look like he's on the gear? Because if he's on some shit, he's on them picograms. I want to know, because if he is on it, he ain't coming back for a minute. But if he's not on it, if he looks like a fat boy, like okay.
I don't know where the pictures were from, but I saw some pictures going around, and I think DC commented on him too, and he did look smaller. So I don't know. I still kind of want to see it, but I'm a total mark. I just want to, yeah, I'm down for it. DC can get paid one more time and then retire. I don't know. I have no problem with steroids, I guess.
Yeah. I want to see DC get paid. He deserves it. And it's a very winnable fight for him. So I mean, I just like to see him get that Brock Lesnar, that red panty night, as it were.
Well, Fred, okay, what gets DC paid more at this point? Is it the Brock Lesnar or is it the John Jones?
It's gotta be
always Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, man. No matter what, even at this point in the game, it's still Brock. I mean, Jones is probably a close second, and maybe with a nice little build, a nice little fisticuffs at a club or something like that, it might build it up a little bit. But like for now, I kind of hate to admit it, but it's Brock Lesnar, dog.
He could get both fights. Like that could happen, that he gets both of those fights.
That's what that's what, if Brock is available at the right time, I think that's what happens. In an ideal world, DC gets Brock, gets that payday. John takes a fight at heavyweight in the meantime. Take your pick. They both presumably win. And then we have, bro, you couldn't write a better story. DC's ultimate retirement fight for all the marbles. John Jones, his ultimate nemesis. And if John wins, he becomes the fucking evil champ. I mean, it's fucking perfect. Perfect. What the fuck? Let's just hope they both can win a fight at heavyweight. Or you know, fuck it. Brock can't even make it, and DC can just wait, and we can just fucking do the damn thing.
I would love DC Brock main event with Jones Stipe co-main.
Oh God, yes, please, that would be fucking perfect.
And you know what? Just to make it even crazier, put a Diaz on that card too.
Put both of them. Fuck it. Let's just get crazy.
Yes.
By the way,
I'm so sold on this card.
Don't fucking ruin it, guys. Let's not get fucking.
I'm a little salty with Nick right now. All right. I'm a little salty with Nick right now. My girl got me like a trip to Vegas for $235, and fucking at the press conference at the $232, they asked Dana White, is Nick Diaz gonna fight or not? He goes, "No, fight's off." Like, motherfucker. I'm still gonna go. But Nick, goddamn it, stop fucking my shit up. Anyway, all right. Moving on then. Let's see. David Copperfield says Brock's sample is at Area 51 with the aliens, Lost Ark, and the JFK shooter. Yeah, because he lost that shit. That's right. Well, fuck, man. And wherever it is,
lost it. Get the fuck out.
Dana White took that shit off the little tray and fucking took it home. That's what happened.
It is what it is.
Yo, fuck up my payday, motherfuckers. Is what he said. All right. Let's go with the end of the year awards, folks. Jesse made this outline of sorts, and that's what we're gonna roll with. It'll be probably me and Jesse first, so we can give you, Fred, and Ashley, you some time to think of your choice.
Ashley got the list as well. So.
Oh, you got it. Also, okay. So Fred's the only one.
I'm the only one that's unprepared and like stoned and not ready.
Fair enough. We'll give you time.
I'll chime in when I get my shit together.
All right, let's kick off with the and you know what, Jesse's smart. He went up with our sponsors. So the Spices Pros Hot Mic of the Year, Jesse.
I had it down to 2, but again, I know what most of you guys are probably gonna pick, so I'm gonna go with Sugar Shane O'Malley when he was laying down after his win at UFC 222 with the injured foot.
The busted foot.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
But Joe Rogan had to be like right down, like, "Hey, what's up, Dad?"
Yeah. It's a good moment, and it just kind of exemplified a new prospect, you know, and showed the kind of toughness he had to endure. So for me, that was a good one.
All right, Ashley.
I'm going with the obvious one.
Yeah.
My balls was hot. You got to. You got to. It was too good. It was a day that will live in infamy. That's what the one. I couldn't go with a different one.
Dude, for real, 100% fucking Oh, David Copperfield loves that card idea we had with the Lesnar, DC, Stipe Jones, and the Diaz brothers. Yeah, he goes, take my money with that card. Hell yeah, fuck yeah, take my money. I'll go next. Yeah, dude, my balls was hot. Why'd you take your pants off? My balls was hot. Like, it wasn't one of those where I was like, normally someone like Derek Lewis, especially Derek Lewis, but if anyone says something funny and it's that fucking funny, I fall over laughing. Like, I'm like a little kid about it, right? But that was so fucking funny. It's like, you literally, I sat there and I go, my balls was hot. Like, that's what came in your head the second Rogan asked you a question. My balls was hot. Fuck yeah, Derek Lewis. Hell yeah.
Listen, that's an incredible pick. I mean, what, he got 500,000 followers on Instagram overnight?
Yeah, he did.
Online. That's listen, if we have to give an award for it, that's the winner, right? Mm-hmm. There's no debate. That was the hot mic of the year. But for the sake of adding something to the conversation, and probably just because it's the most recent thing on my fucked up memory, I want to go with Uriah Hall's most recent post-fight show that Jesse alluded to earlier. This has been a big fucking year for mental health. I've talked about this kind of shit on my other podcast. Mental health has played a major role in a lot of fucking different things in the big fucking grand scheme of things this year. So that was a big deal, man. It was it seemed extremely heartfelt and sincere too. So, you know, that actually was pretty emotional for me.
For sure. And everyone in the comment section, throw your picks out as well. And most people watch this after the fact anyway. Leave your comment or your pick in the comment section for sure. All right. Moving on to
real quick, one that I expected somebody to mention, but nobody did. The other one that I thought was a pretty good pick was DC after his win against Stipe, where Brock Lesnar came in and pushed him like a little child.
Oh yeah.
I think that was UFC 225 or something like that.
Is that Brock Lesnar? Get your ass in here.
Well, shit. Like I thought you were talking about. That was a good one. Well, that was more like, I don't know. I thought you meant just like shit that happened on the mic, like, because if we're talking about Habib, fucking goddamn.
Yeah, but he didn't. But that's hot mic of the year. So I mean, DC was talking to Lesnar.
Yeah, but DC's trash on the mic when that. Shut up, Debbie. Shut up. This is trash. Like Brock coming in and fucking doing. Brock won that fucking hot mic, but DC was a little.
Yeah, there you go. See, that would probably be the better vote.
You Brock going, and God, who's a piece of shit. Stay Play's a piece of shit.
Dude, for being a pro wrestler, that was some cringy shit from Brock Lesnar. For real. Like,
love him or hate him though, man.
Yeah.
That dude brings the ratings, man.
I kind of loved it. I won't lie. I ate it up.
And DC ain't trashing him. I mean, he's not as good as like some other guys, but he's, you know, I enjoyed the fuck out of like, fuck you, John. Still there, John? Like, I like that. I enjoyed that.
I don't know. DC to me seems like that kid that would rat on you in school. Like, that's what I was getting from.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
like he's that guy. Like, hey, like at the end of the class, you know, he's the one raising his hand, like, "Oh, teacher, you didn't pick up the homework or whatever," or he'll rat on you, like, "Oh, he's cheating on the test." Like, that's DC, in my opinion.
Yeah, John Jones is the one that's taking vape hits in the back of the fucking classroom that finally got caught. It's like, you got to tell us where you got it, or you're getting suspended. Fuck, fine. Yeah. All right. Next up, represents keeping it real fighter of the year. Take it away, Jesse.
I had to go with the one and only guy that keeps it real. Although we didn't see him last year, got to go with Nate Diaz.
Okay. Why?
He's just a guy that is not going to sell himself out. He's not going to come back for what he's not worth. He's not going to promote the UFC. He's just not going to adhere to what the UFC wants. He's losing a lot of money and a lot of fans probably because he's just not coming out to the fights, but he keeps it real, man.
All right, Ashley.
I'm going with Tyron Woodley. I feel like this year people are finally seeing what he's been saying for his entire title run. I just feel like we're starting to see like how he gets treated by Dana and the UFC and how it's like he even did them a favor this year with fighting on short notice against Till, and they're still turning on him because he won't fight on short notice again. So I just feel like this is what he's been saying, and now it's finally being able to be seen by the public more. And so I gave it to him.
Nice. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's irritating to me that Dana White's talking about stripping him. Like, the dude defended twice last year?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, twice last year. Come on now, Fred, your pick.
Okay, so time to get your fucking panties wet.
Here we go. I fucking knew he's gonna do this shit. God damn it!
I know everybody's gonna be salty that I'm picking this person.
Gotta cash that check. Gotta cash that check, friend.
But listen,
proper 12 check he's getting every month.
I'm going with my boy Connor. Listen, all you motherfuckers said Connor ain't never coming back. He ain't gonna fight Khabib. He's scared, and when he does get back, he ain't gonna. Bet you he don't fight Khabib. Bet you he don't. Well, guess what he did? Goddammit, he came back and he fought Khabib, and he lost. He lost, straight up lost. But he came back and put his money where his mouth was, and he didn't have to. If that ain't keeping it real, what is? He came back and fought the baddest motherfucker we could come up with in a cage. Yeah. And he's worth what, 100 million? He could have told us all to suck a fucking dick and fucked off to Ireland for the rest of his life. He came back and he lost. To keep it a buck, he lost too. So, hey, look, I'm a Connor dick rider. Kiss my ass, all right? Connor.
That's a fair point, though. I'll give it to
you. Fuck. Look, man, Nate Diaz always keeping it real. I mean, obviously, my boy. But Khabib, man. Khabib never gonna made out. All that shit Connor talked. Like, talk now, boom. Talk now, boom. It's like, hey, man, it's just business. Talk now, boom. And then after the fight, fucking Dylan Dennis jumps out of the cage, goes straight up full ego on his ass. Like, dude, that to me was that motherfucker was not playing. All right, he kept it like nobody kept it more real than that motherfucker, and it went wrong, but still, he kept it real as fuck.
Very, very good counterpoint to my pick, Eddie. I got if anybody kept it more real than Connor that night, it was fucking Khabib. Like, okay. Yeah, you keep doing, you little prick. Here I am. Shabam. What the fuck? We'll cause a scene in this whole fucking building, Jack.
Yeah, no one told Khabib that Connor was just selling the fight. He was like, this shit is real life, motherfucker. Like, it was, whew, that shit was nuts. And look, man, plus anybody that smacks shit at Dylan Dennis is a fucking okay in my book. For real. Can't stand that dude for shit. Like when Marcelo whenever he got kicked out of it's jiu-jitsu school because he's a dick. But anyway, all right, moving on. Fighter of the year. Actually, there's a handful of candidates here. All right, but you can only pick one. Start with Jesse.
Just because I know you guys are gonna spotlight some of the other ones that I have on my list, I'm gonna have to go with Andres the Bullet Quintana, the guy that at Copa Combate came in, beat 3 dudes to win 100K in one night. That's just some badass stuff right there. I understand a lot of the other fighters in the category that you might pick. Honestly, I had picked number 1 as Amanda Nunes, but I just knew that nobody else was going to spotlight just the effort that Andres had to go through to win that 100K in one night. So Andres Quintana for me.
All right. Fred.
I hate to kind of go with the low hanging fruit here, but I gotta say DC. I mean, the prick became the biggest champ. I mean, a lot of people have been champ, but you don't go no better or bigger than becoming the light heavy and the heavyweight fucking champ. He beat a real fucking champion in Stipe at heavyweight, and then he defended the belt. I know that Derek Lewis wasn't the most credible title challenger in the world, but none the fucking less, he is the first champ that has defended a belt as champ, right?
Both of them, I believe, right?
I think so. While he was the fucking champ. I hate to keep saying that shit. Yeah, look, DC, man. There's Amanda Nunes had a great year. A lot of people had really good years. But fucking DC, man, it was a legacy making year for him.
There you go. Ashley?
I was going to pick DC too, but just for the sake of being different, I'll pick Max Holloway because, he had a lot to come back from this year and a lot of questions on his name. And he came and he gave us the performance of his life against a very tough dude. So I'll give it to my boy Max.
All right. Daniel Cormier. Like the only championship in UFC history that defended both belts. I believe he defended both belts. So hell yeah.
Who are the honorable mentions? I know we're forgetting some people here. Who had a good fucking year this year now that we got that bullshit
so
on the
Jesse's list says Amanda Nunes, Cormier, and Andres Quintana. Who else could you throw in there besides Max Holloway?
I would also obviously have to say someone like like a Connor, of course, because it was just a big epic comeback for him, even though it didn't go his way. And then to me, you also got to put in there, even though this is probably one of the stupidest things ever, is you got to say Floyd Mayweather for staying relevant and still cashing a check.
Yeah. Oh, dude, okay, real quick, while we're talking about that, I have to ask you guys. I meant to fucking bring it up. You guys saw his little exhibition match with Tension, right? At Ryzen 14. It was it looked real as fuck to me. It looked real as fuck to me. I think he ate those shots. People were talking about it being fake. Fred, was it fake?
Man, no. What the fuck? Dude, Tension looks like he's a natural fucking bantamweight. Mm-hmm. Floyd makes people fight in his rules. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, listen, man, there's a major difference between boxing and kickboxing and kickboxing and MMA. Like, from the outside looking in, you might not get it, but just the fact that he couldn't use his legs changed everything. It doesn't matter that he didn't or whatever. It changes the whole game up. Like, it changes how dangerous he is. Like, what did we think was going to happen? Floyd made a dude who's a young, smaller kickboxer box him. One thing that I was surprised about is how aggressive Floyd was. Floyd came out there like he caught that dude rubbing on his girl's booty. Dude, he fucking thunderstruck a little Tension. I was like, okay, Floyd, I see you. You weren't gonna let that little Connor shit slide in this one, Jack. He came out and fucking whooped the shit out of that little dude. But it didn't look fake. What the fuck? Like, I mean,
those shots landed like a motherfucker, dude. Like, they landed. And did anyone think it was fake here? Just real quick. Anyone think he was fake? No. Exactly. Right? Right? Okay.
I mean, that's what Floyd does. He picks fights that he can do that. And I mean, I watch, so I'm part of the problem.
I mean, listen, it was a shit show, but not fake. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a joke, but not fake.
There you go. And because we don't have this category on here, just reading something that I think it was David Copperfield says, Tony Ferguson comeback fight of the year. That fight with Pettis, Anthony Pettis, was insane. Okay. For as long as it lasted. Insane. And then Raider says it was real. Talking about the Mayweather fight. Says it was real. Tension was fighting a full-grown man, okay? He got whipped. It was real. Yeah. Tension's like, what, 19, 20? He's a child.
And he's a smaller man than
Super small.
Floyd. What the fuck? Like,
dude, Floyd looked like he was 6 feet standing next to that motherfucker. Like,
right.
What the fuck? I didn't look real. To me, they look real like when they were standing next to each other. And then they got in a fight and Tension, like, I was like, yeah, Tension ate those shots. That was bad.
Plus, the other thing is, if you're going to fake a fight, why would you want to get knocked out? You're going to get paid, but you don't want to take the brain damage, especially if you're a young fighter like that.
Listen. Shout out to our homeboy, Aaron. Me and him had a conversation about this fight after it was said and done. And he brought up a good point. If you're going to fix a fight, Floyd loses, you dummies. Mm-hmm. You don't fix a fight and then have the dude that's supposed to lose. How much money you gonna have to put on Floyd to make any money in this regard? Like, why the fuck would it be fixed? That's fucking stupid. If it's fixed, now if Floyd had got knocked out, then we could have a discussion. But Floyd coming out there and knocking dude out, what's so fucking surprising about that?
Yeah, right. Right. That's expected as fuck. Gary Coaston, what up, dude? He says, what did I miss? You missed a lot already.
Everything.
Basically everything. But we're about halfway through our end of the year awards. And then David Copperfield says, I would have contributed to Tension's lawsuit GoFundMe page if he plugged Floyd with a high kick and flatlined him. I would have too, motherfucker. Like, who wouldn't have? If Tension just threw a fucking head kick, knocked him the fuck out, biggest lawsuit, whatever, I guarantee Tension doesn't have to pay a dime.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm in on the GoFundMe for that.
I'll be fucking awesome with that. All right. Moving on to the next category here. Biggest story of the year. Lots of stories went down this year. You know, the Habib, you know, the post 229 crazy debacle thing. Fucking bring up any USADA fucking thing. What else is there? Fucking asking the UFC DJ to call him to trade, all that shit. But plenty of storylines to pick from. Jesse, who'd you pick, or what'd you pick?
I had to go with the story that just kept popping up through the whole entire year, which was the return of John Jones / USADA. Because every time John Jones or USADA was mentioned, it was always, what's going on? Is John Jones coming back? Wait, is he coming back in July? USADA, what are they doing? You know, like it's just been a constant theme through the whole year of John Jones and USADA, and it just came to a nasty, stupid just debacle here at the end of the year. We still got the fight, but man, I think the consequences of what happened, what was it, last week, is going to be kind of felt through the rest of the year next year, especially since USADA's, re-upped, the UFC re-upped with USADA and actually said that they're going to do even more testing. So it's going to be a real interesting
shit show.
Yeah, moving forward.
For sure. Ashley, what'd you pick?
For me, it was the dolly.
Yeah.
I felt like that was even bigger than the actual fight. I gotta go with the dolly / the return of Conor McGregor.
Right.
All right, Fred.
Dollygate. That was a good one. I'm gonna go with Habib. What was it, 229?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Post 229, man. Now look, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not one of these people who's like, oh my God, that was so bad for the sport, blah, blah, blah. I enjoyed it. In hindsight, once I knew that like no fans had got fucking stomped, nobody was dead, all the fans were good. I love shit like that. I love the drama. Afterwards, that was one of those things where, when motherfuckers would come over that weren't really fight fans or like that, but check this out. And then right when the shit hits the fan and Habib jumps the cage and chaos ensues, even normal fucking people who casuals are like, oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, did he just hit Conor McGregor? That's so crazy. Who is he? Like, I don't know, some Russian, Jack, but it's wild, ain't it? It was chaos. That shit was everything for like a few weeks after that.
I wish people would stop acting like they didn't enjoy it.
Right.
That was awesome. I was hyped. I wasn't even upset when it happened. I didn't even know if people got hurt yet. I was living.
True. That was another one of those moments too where I found myself like when it was happening, just like fucking outer body experience. I was like standing up like, what is going on? And then when they like showed the replay and it showed old dude fucking punching Conor, I was just like, oh my God. Like, again, one of those moments where you think you've seen it all, and then you're like, I'll tell you what, I've never seen a fighter's crew jump in and attack the fighter that just got beat, like, ever.
Real quick, can I just ask Fred, what kind of, basic white chicks are you bringing over to your house to watch fights? just a quick question.
The ones that actually have mustaches and beards. You'd be surprised.
I was gonna say, I like how Jesse thinks that you bring white girls home.
I know.
It has been a thing for a long time, as far as it goes, but
yeah, no, he likes some flavor. But look, man, you could go with DC become double champ. You can go. I was gonna fuck with you guys and say Herb Dean injured out of UFC 232. That had me fucking rolling. All right, you hear about that when Herb Dean's hurt, can't ref? I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
how is this a thing? Like, it's just weird, right? But nothing like look.
What's that dude's name with the mustache that replaced him?
Mike Beltran.
Mike Beltran.
One of my favorite refs ever, honestly.
I love him.
Yeah. Dude, did you see him? Like he was like caressing like Gus's back after he lost. Like, it's okay, man. Don't worry about it. Like, it was so great.
I forgot who tweeted out like every time Mike Beltran yells, like I have to something to do with like I have to make sure I don't have any drugs on me because of the cop voice. Yeah, he's so loud and like boisterous, you're like, oh my God.
No, but nothing made me fucking like. So you guys know me. I do the live tweets for Cage Side Press during the events, and I was tweeting my ass off when Habib jumped the fucking cage, went flying eagle on fucking Dylan Dennis, and then his boys came in and started punching Conor. It was like madness, but it was one of those like, nothing. Like, I know something's crazy. It was like, well, when you're watching something and you're just like, oh shit, like over and over again. That was me while I was trying to type at the same time, like, oh shit, like fucking losing my shit. Mind you, I watched that car with my girlfriend and my kids, and it was fucking hilarious. Like, it was just like, what the fuck? And they're all looking at me like they thought we were watching something. Like, they were somewhat appalled. Like, I can't believe it's happening. And I'm like, oh fuck yes, let's go! Like, I was like, get Habib back in the cage, smack fucking Owen and John, whatever, McGregor's coach.
Bro, that shit was so lit. I'm the biggest nut hugger in the world, and I was excited for Khabib. Like, that's right, Jack. You don't talk that shit to Russians, do you? Not a Russian or a Khabib fan. I was lit.
Yeah, dude. Habib took that shit so personal. That shit was so real for him that he was like, fuck you, wait till after the fight, bitch. Like, all the talking he was doing to Conor the whole time, like, keep talking now. Talk now. Even Conor has to be like, look, man, it's just business, man. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Talk now. Pa! Give me that neck. Give me that chin, bro.
After that little snippet came out, Connor's probably like, man, can we get some like less good mics on these motherfuckers? Like we don't you hear every goddamn thing we saying in there. Come on, DW. Man, shit.
They need to amplify mics when Connor's in the cage, when either Diaz brothers in the cage, and now when Khabib's in the cage. Like for real. Those four. For sure. Anyway. And Tony Ferguson. I believe Tony Ferguson probably has to be talking some shit in there. Anyway, all right, next category here. Ambassador of the Year award. And Jesse, you're going to have to explain this one first and then give your pick.
Basically, I was thinking like who in this sport or in this space has been the best person to kind of go out and be the face of, MMA. Just kind of be like a good ambassador, kind of, be a good person to kind of, bring more fans to the sport. I know a lot of people might pick a certain person, which would be Joe Rogan, and that was my pick initially. But then I thought about something you said, Eddie, what was it, last week or the week before, when we asked who was the best person to benefit from the Fox deal. Oh, yeah. And this person has been quite a revelation in how wonderful they are able to express themselves about the fighters, how well they handle themselves with the fighters, and just everything they've done in this whole Fox era. So that, to me, the vote was pretty easy. It was Karen Bryant.
Yeah, people kind of like, people rag on Karen Bryant. I never understood that. Like, I get it. Like, she, hey, look, every broadcaster do something that annoys the fuck out of you, right? Like, sometimes I can't stand Joe Glazer in the fucking, before NFL games kick off on Sundays. They put the camera on his little midget motherfucker, and so he's just giving whatever reports that he has. I'm like, shut the fuck up, move on, I'm missing with that shit. But he's still a good broadcaster, right? But Karen Bryant, yeah, that's a good pick, man. Ashley, since you did your homework, which would you pick?
I'm going with DC. I feel like Olympian, double champ. I know he was gonna try out for the WWE commentary. Yeah. He kills it with the UFC commentary. I think he's one. I'd like Dana to get the boot and move DC there when he retires, because I think he's a great face for the sport. He even has his tooth fixed now. So
there you go. Oh man. All right. Ambassador of sport. Fred, do you have one? Because I'm still like figuring it out.
Yeah, well, kind of. I think, man. Okay. This was an interesting question. This is one of the questions where I probably should have done my homework. Need a little more than 30 seconds. But I'm gonna go with Derek Lewis.
Yeah,
he's probably brought a shitload of new fans to the sport. And you know what I love about Derek? He's just himself. He makes you want to be yourself. He he's not like a great looking guy. He's not extremely well spoken. He's just Derek Lewis. And come to find out, people love you when you're just not always. And some of you motherfuckers probably should be other people, but like being yourself sometimes pays off. And he's like proved that. And all things considered, he handles himself quite well, right? He says some outlandish shit, but never tested positive for steroids. Doesn't beat his old lady. Fucking, has no glaring fucking drug issues or nothing. All things considered, he's a great ambassador for the sport.
Yeah, I mean, shit. When the hurricane hit Houston, he was in his giant fucking lifted truck helping people get to safety.
Very good point.
Right?
Yeah.
Racist white people too.
Right. He's helping anybody.
In the deep South. The only thing we can hold against Derek Lewis this year was that goddamn fight with Ngannou. And at least he hurt his back in that fight. I put most of the fucking weight on Ngannou in that fight. You didn't even have a bad back to hold it on, my dude.
Yeah. Gary Cousins says Lewis gets quote of the year, 100%. Well, and then David Copperfield. I don't remember if this is this year or not, but David Copperfield says, "How could we forget Nate Diaz making Brendan Schaub his bitch in person after running his mouth on his podcast?" Was that this year?
It was early this year if it was.
I think
we're probably forgetting some. January through March, you could probably chalk up for me, man.
That was like one fucking year.
At the beginning of the year,
dude. It was the slowest start to a year ever this year. Like, slow shit. But no, it's because Brendan Schaub talked some shit about Nate Diaz, and then Nate found him and like at the in the back of the I think the Floyd Connor fight, and was like calling him a bitch and all this shit and whatnot. It was fucking hilarious. Anyway, all right. Wow, man. So ambassador All right, I'm gonna go with DC because he's just. I mean, no one's a better champion. In my opinion, no one's been a better ambassador, champion of the sport, whatever. But second, and then a very weird pick for me, especially. Did Proper 12 come out this year? Right.
Yep.
That shit. Okay, that shit sold out in every store in Phoenix that day of the press conference when Conor McGregor came out with this bottle of Proper 12 and he gave Dana a glass and all that shit. I have a buddy that works at a local liquor store that had it, right? So you can go on the Proper 12 website, you can actually see like where they're distributed at. And I looked it up just to see who had it in Arizona because I was like, there's no way on short notice that everyone's got it, right? So I looked it up and it was like, all right, local spot. And I have a buddy that works there, so I texted him. I'm like, hey, you have any Proper 12 stuff? And I texted him maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours after the press conference where him and Habib were going back and forth, or it was mostly him talking to Habib the whole time. And he says, dude, we just sold out. Like, and I said, dude, that was like right after the press conference. People ran out to stores to buy that garbage ass whiskey. Like, dude. So as far as bringing people to the sport, that got kind of weird, kind of crazy. But he's always done that. But ambassador of the year is DC, no question. All right. Randy Couture says Raider. Oh Jesus, did you guys? So I tweeted out this video that's from the fighter and the kid, where they found they found Randy Couture's sex tape, and
it's not really quite a sex tape, is it? It's just him fucking rubbing one out.
Yeah,
I'm going after what Brendan Schaub said. He was like, dude, I want you Randy Couture check out, bro. He's like, I'm sweating. And like, he's about to bust. Starts chanting USA. He's like, USA. That had me fucking dying. But Randy Couture, Jesus. It's a good pick there. All right, moving on to the next one. Warrior Fighter of the Year. Jesse, explain it and make your pick. Just to make sure people know.
Just basically the fighter that best exemplified that warrior spirit that we all enjoy, that just not just like gritty, but just like fan favorite style. A guy that just, or a girl that just puts it all out there and every time delivers. So I had a couple on my list, but again, I had to go with a very unique one, which is Andres Quintana again, just because being able to take on 3 different competitors in one night, I mean, that takes a big warrior spirit, especially in the fights that he had, which were all very difficult. And he was hurt in, I think it was the second fight that he had. He got hurt and he was able to recover and win that second fight to advance to the final. So, I mean, that's some crazy warrior spirit for me. So Andres Quintana is my pick.
All right, Ashley, you picking?
Tony Ferguson.
Nice.
He came back after that crazy injury in a weirdly short amount of time and then just put on a war with Anthony Pettis. And actually, I would throw Pettis right there with him. That fight was just everything that you think of when you think of Warrior MMA. The blood, when Pettis was screaming, I was screaming. It was so good. I give it to those two.
All right, there you go. Yeah, dude, Anthony Pettis is like, I think he was in like Ferguson's guard for a second. He just goes, with the blood in his face and shit. Like, goddamn, dude. Actually, my pick was Tony Ferguson, but I'm gonna go with that Tony Ferguson Pettis pick too. That fight was just, for as long as it lasted, that was fucking psycho shit, right? And yeah, you can go with the usuals, Gaethje and all that. But what's your pick, Fred?
Listen, my pick is hands down Brian Ortega.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. Yeah,
he took a goddamn it beating, and still they had to stop the goddamn fight. He was fixing to come out that 5th round and take, bro. Again, I've seen a lot of fights. That 4th round of that Holloway fucking Ortega was one of the worst beatings I've ever seen somebody take. I mean, Holloway was just landing at will. I mean, hard. Holloway's not much of a power puncher, but he said that he was going to get him out of there in that round, and I think he was really trying. Like, it didn't seem like he was, in danger in that fight at all, but in the 4th round, it looked like he was like, all right, motherfucker, enough with it. Like, he was cracking him, and Brian Ortega would just not go away. He fucking definitely showed his warrior spirit in that fight. And just generally speaking, the way he fights in general and his story and everything. So, good year for Brian Ortega.
No, 100%. All right. Black belt moment of the year. You can go with, I'm assuming you're talking about submissions here, Jesse. So
yeah,
a lot of submissions this year. I know my pick fucking already, but you go ahead, Jesse, go first.
There's one I want to highlight in case you guys don't pick it, but I'll do that at the end. My pick was actually another Combate Americas fight with it was Amanda Serrano submitting her opponent. Amanda Serrano, if you guys don't know, is a 3 or 4 division champion in boxing. So she's a boxer by trade, and had a first fight which went to a draw in Combate Americas, I think last year. This year she came back and put on a performance and submitted her opponent. So to me, that was just an amazing evolution by her using some good jiu-jitsu skills. So for me, Amanda Serrano.
All right, I'm gonna go next because my pick is fucking baller. Actually, it's 2 men. Zabit, I forgot what is his last name again?
Magomed Sharipov.
Yeah, Magomed Sharipov. Thank you.
Nailed it.
He's got it down. And Aljamain Sterling doing that fucking crazy knee bar. It was like, fuck. It was just the knee bar was nuts. I mean, just YouTube it. Just look up on YouTube Zabit and Aljamain Sterling, and I guarantee that's the only video that comes up. Those motherfuckers, that's like mad. I haven't trained knee bars too much because I'm like scared to death of getting knee barred, but they that's a scary fucking submission to get caught in. And the way that those dudes got caught in it, where like the whole body kind of folded, was fucking insane. That's just insane. All right, Ashley, who'd you pick?
I'm actually so sad that you went before me now because that was my pick too. No, it's okay. I felt so cool for making that pick. My backup though. Just would be Khabib. He got that choke in against somebody who's not that great, but the scale of it all. So many eyes on him, and he got the finish when he hasn't always been a reliable finisher. So that would be my second choice.
Nice.
There you go, Fred.
Okay, so I don't know how to say this prick's name, but it's Olenek, the prick that was pulling off the fucking the Ezekiel's from his back.
Yeah.
Did he do 2 this year, or did he just get his second one this year?
I think he got a second one this year.
He's got either way, he shouldn't have got the first one. Pulling it off again is crazy. I think he might have even finished it with like a standing Ezekiel.
I think he slapped it on standing and then it went to the ground, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, but that damn dude and that damn Ezekiel choke is nasty. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's a heavyweight too, so it makes it even a little more impressive.
Right.
The one I wanted to highlight before we move on was the TP triangle that happened at Risen yesterday.
Right, dude. Have you seen video of this shit?
TP Montoya. Got to give that guy a shout out because that is a unique triangle. It's hard to pull off. I think Eddie could attest to how difficult it would be to just triangle somebody, but that unique variation of it is just one of those things that you don't see very often.
That one-arm Kimura that Chiesa pulled off.
That was impressive.
Was pretty fucking impressive too, as much as I hate to admit it.
Not gonna bullshit. I tried to pull it on someone today at open mat. Didn't work out. It didn't. But that was fun. Yeah, no, that was impressive, definitely. I mean, the strength on that dude to even pull that off was crazy. I don't know. Dave Copperfield says Max made women cry from coast to coast in that fight. Oh yeah, the Brian Ortega fight. That was fucking nuts. Yeah. All right. Let's go because I don't see a case like a knockout of the year here, Jesse, on your list.
No, I didn't put one.
Do you have one in mind?
Do I have one in mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have one in mind.
All right. How about you? Everyone? Me and Jesse will go first, and then so everyone's got time. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with DC knocking out Stipe, just of how shockingly fast it was, and just if you take everything into consideration, a guy going from 205 up to heavyweight, just being able to knock out the incumbent there, the guy that we were hailing as the greatest heavyweight of all time, had defended the belt 3 times, just getting snuffed out like that. As Fred would say, it's an incredible performance by DC Set, and that was a good knockout too.
All right, I'm actually I was gonna go with something else because I got one that just happened on Saturday, but my boy Yair Rodriguez pulling off that last second fucking like duck under, elbow up, knockout of the zombie was fucking legit as fuck. That was just like, man, you know, Fred always jokes around like, you know, I pick my countryman in every fight, and he's like 99% right. But and that one I definitely picked him. But I was super impressed by that win. I was like, dude, first of all, that's a hell of a fucking fight to finish it that way. Like, woo, fuck, nutty as fuck. All right, Ashley, you got one?
I do. Okay. That's one of my favorites. But another one that was my favorite was Jacare knocking out Chris Weidman, because it was like kind of a comeback win too, because he was down those 2 rounds, but it'd been a war. It was so fun to watch. But Chris was obviously winning. And then, and the way he crumbled it was just, that was one of my favorites, but also kind of sad. They all kind of are, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, anytime anyone gets knocked out, you're just like, God damn, you know. Except for had John Jones got knocked out on Saturday, you'd have been like, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? Fred, what are you picking?
Knockout of the year has to be for me. My balls are hot.
When
he knocked out, was it Volkov?
Right. Yeah.
He was losing that fight, and he knocked him out with what, like 6 seconds on the clock? Like, that fight was over, dog. And then he knocked him out. Like, I still remember that. That was exciting as fuck too, because that shit was like, I'm like, well, Derek Lewis, it's been nice, but goddamn show's got to come to an end sometimes. And then boom, he for real landed that punch and knocked his funny ass out.
Yeah, no, dude, that was excuse me, the way he hit him too. He had tried that right hand the entire night and had never even gotten close. And that was a 1 second Volkov just decided to just, you know, zig when he should have, when he had been zagging the whole fight, and crack, gamer. It was fucking beautiful. All right, 2 more, and then 2 more, then we gotta go because I actually gotta get to work here in a minute. Take my money event of the year, Jesse.
Basically an event where, you know, you just couldn't help but watch. I know some of the most obvious picks is going to be the UFC, so that's why I was trying to highlight. Again, Copa Combate this year was amazing. You had basically a tournament style, old school, you know, back in the day, win 3 fights in a row to win 100K. So to me, that was one of the best showcases of just heart and, you know, just badassery. So for me, Copa Combate this year.
All right, Ashley.
I mean, it might be some recency bias, but I got to go with UFC 229. It was just, there's too many big fights, too many questions, and we got our answers, and it was really, really fun. So I'm going with that one.
All right, Fred.
What would you see? Was that
232?
232. I guess it's a bit more of a hindsight for me for being my card of the year. I guess the last one is a card of the year, is it?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna just tie this in. This is gonna be card of the year for me. Look, in my opinion, man, as much as all joking aside, as much as I would like to nail John Jones' ass to the wall for the picograms, for right now, he's the greatest male fighter we got, and I think that Amanda Nunes is the greatest female fighter. So we got to watch, you know, kind of hands down the male and female GOAT perform on the same night. I think in a revisionist history, we'll look back on that card and be like, God damn, that was something pretty fucking special that we got to witness that night. And they both had impressive finishing performances too. So
yeah, that's like actually super and good point right there. I was actually gonna go with 232, but I'm gonna go with 229. And I was just looking at the main card.
That's the other one.
Yeah,
229 is the big one. That probably had. If I had to judge beforehand, I was probably more hyped for that. I mean, what the fuck? That was the fight of the year. Was fucking Conor Habib.
Yeah, like for example, like the Michelle Watterson beating Felice Herring and saying, "I want to be the first, you know, like mom UFC champion." Had my girlfriend crying. Derek Lewis with it. Yeah, right. Yeah,
it was so sweet.
Right, you were just like, you couldn't help but to. Like, I root for her. I've always been a fan of her. So she was in Adam Wayne and Victor and champion, even when she lost. But when she said that, I'm an even bigger fan. I was like, fuck, they got me. Shit. But Derek Lewis last second knockout, the Tony Ferguson fight, the Habib psycho shit. What else was on that card? fucking Vicente Luque first round knockout of Turner. Aspen Ladd finally getting people to fucking recognize who she is, because most of the time people weren't even on there. Oh yeah, that was also the card that Sean O'Malley didn't make it to because he tested positive or something. But that's when they started doing that whole thing where they didn't tell you that they popped. So he was like, "No, look, we're not supposed to tell you guys, but I popped, and I'm gonna figure this out." And he was pretty honest about it. All right, but yeah, 229 for sure. All right, and is this real event of the year? So I'm assuming it's one of those things where you're watching it and you can't believe it's real, right, Jesse?
Yeah, basically, it's just like, why? What am I watching? Why does this exist? Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, and so I'll go with Chuck Tito that happened this year. I mean, to me, that was the most like, is this real moment for me.
All right, Ashley.
I gotta go with that one too. Even though I technically didn't watch it because it was so unreal, I didn't even want to watch that. Like, I can't believe it was even booked.
All right, Fred.
I mean, listen, this is almost like this should have just been the fucking Chuck and Tito and fucking Oscar award, right? Like, it don't get no weirder than that. I mean, it for the sake of having a little conversation here before we wrap this one up, we could just, I mean, man, I'd be tripping, yo. Floyd Conner was this year, right?
Early this year?
What? Yeah, but it was this year,
that
right?
Was last year.
Was it?
I think it was last year.
Jesus Christ Almighty. Okay, well,
long ass year, right? You just
yeah. What the fuck? Well, whatever. Floyd, whoever the fuck. Floyd intention. Like, anytime Floyd does anything, it's a little weirdy beardy. So, Floyd fighting and rising is pretty fucking strange for me.
All right. Yeah, dude, it wasn't even as far as like the Chuck and Tito fight goes. It wasn't even the fight. It was the sound bites leading up to the fight and the video. First of all, Chuck Liddell hitting pads, right?
Chuck Liddell.
Sorry, I'm getting to that for sure. But Chuck Liddell hitting pads and trying to convince us that he's fight ready. Nah, dude. Teenage.
That was about when I decided I would not watch.
Exactly.
that was rough.
As soon as I saw that video, I was just like, yeah, Tito's going to fuck him up. I'm not watching, right? And then Tito Ortiz mistaking Vegas for California. Like, it's Golden Boy MMA, Las Vegas, California. I was like, what the fuck? Dude, stop it. Not to mention, Tito's got me blocked on fucking Twitter, but I earned it. I deserved it.
I called him out. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I called him out on some stupid shit. Anyway, and not that it even matters. But what else was there? But to me, the Dana White Oscar De La Hoya back and forth take all the cake. It's all of it. They both went on ESPN. Like, one day it was Oscar, the next day it was Dana. Just shitting on each other back. They're still doing it now. Like, they're still doing it now. That shit to me was just like, is this really fucking happening?
Who do you believe in that?
Oh, dude, not Oscar.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, sorry, homeboy, but I do not believe that they're making no more money with you than they were in the UFC, dude.
No, we know.
You promoting MMA.
We know the truth of what the fighters are getting paid over there.
Yeah.
So unless Oscar's doing some background deals that, is undisclosed, which is what the UFC used to do anyways, then he's just doing the same thing that the UFC does.
Well, because he was like, we pay them more, right? But I'm assuming that those numbers came out. He was like, wait a minute. They give those numbers out? What the fuck? Like, it's like he didn't know, right? Like, they'll never find out, right? Well, we have the numbers right here. Fuck! Like, you know what I mean? So he's like, it's like you drop such bullshit that you can't backpedal at that point. Like, you just have to keep pushing it, right? And just hope that like it like blows over. And then what is he like yesterday or the day before he came out saying that his event would destroy the pay-per-view model. Maybe, like, you just fucked a lot of people out of a ton of money for bullshit, but no, dude, stop. And it's like, oh yeah, UFC fighters are calling me because they want to come over to fight for Golden Boy.
Listen.
Come on, dog.
Listen, the question was, what the fuck event of the year?
Yeah.
God damn it, Oscar De La Hoya promoting Chuck Tito 3 in 2000.
Jesus.
What the fuck moment of the year, for sure.
That was awesome. Got names like Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell, on this card, and all these other guys on the card. I was like, oh no, he doesn't know them. Like, you knew right then and there it was all over. Like, I was like, he doesn't know who's on his card. Like, I get it. Look, man, if you're ahead of a promotion, look, not that he's really ahead of it, he's more like a fucking face of it. But I mean, come on, man. When he did that, I was just like, dude.
You know what? To keep it a buck, and I don't want to fucking rant on this shit, but that was almost not even like a respectable try.
Right.
You didn't even have a respectable co-main event, dog. Like, you didn't really have nothing on this card. What was there was like one other name that we'd heard of, right, on the card?
Lawler?
Tom Lawler, right. That's it, Jack. Like, there was nothing on this card.
Didn't Gleason Tebow make that card?
Yeah, and Gleason Tebow. There you go. But,
but no one even talked about him, which is sad.
Right. Like, I mean, we put him in the co-main. Hustle up fucking Jens Pulver, something. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't, that wasn't even a fucking really good attempt, to be honest. Fuck Affliction did a better job than that.
Shit, yeah. Dude, that was just sad. I hope he stops, but I have a feeling he's not going to. So, fuck it. Let's see what happens. All right. It's been a hell of a fucking year, folks, and you guys are the shit for sticking with us through the whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? I've been doing this for like 5-6 years. I don't even know. I lost count, and this is actually a pretty fun year to do these like shows and everything. So we appreciate you guys a ton. I don't know, off the top of your heads, if you can come up with one as far as like what we would do here, and actually, I don't know how long you've been doing MMA stuff, but like your best moment of this year. You know what I mean? As far as like the shows go, if you can even think of one.
Best moment of this year. Well, for me, it was just getting my show back up and going again, because I was going for a while, and then I had a bunch of my laptop died, and took a big hiatus. So I got it back up and going in September, and the community's just been great. So that's kind of my moment of the year.
There you go. I don't know, Frankie, you think of one?
No, man, not one particular moment. You know, I enjoyed it. It's been a good year. We had a bunch of fucking big moments. I would just say maybe anytime there was a big moment in the sport, right? Like,
we could talk about it.
Lead ups to big fights. Obviously, the lead up to the Conor Khabib fight was huge, and then one thing I always look forward to, man, is coming on here the week after a big event. You know, we've obviously either been talking shit, and one great thing about the fights is it's got to go one way or the other, right? How many draws do we have this year? Like 5 or 7.
Right.
One way or the other, one of us gets to come on here and complain about it not being a good decision, or make up excuses about the fucking weight cut or the like. But either way, we have to show up every fucking week and account for our opinions and our talk. So just the moments before and after these big fights and big moments are always fun.
Jesse?
To be a part of.
I would have to agree with Fred. Wow, strangely, right? Just having an outlet to be able to talk about, what we see and what we're fans of. Eddie, what was the tournament this year, or was it last year?
That was last year.
Oh, okay. So
I didn't compete this year due to injuries, like plenty of fucking injuries.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna point that out as well.
The pictures on there.
Yeah, the picture right there.
For anyone that didn't know, I competed in Fullerton, California. At end of last year. It was the last tournament of the year, and Jesse came out, and that was a lot of fucking fun, honestly. We actually watched that wasn't a pay-per-view, right? That was the was it Alvarez Gaethje fight on pay-per-view? No, it wasn't, right? It was like a fight night.
No, it was a pay-per-view.
Was it? Which one was that?
I can't remember. I don't remember.
I know we watched it at that's right, because we had to pay to get into B-dubs.
Yep.
Right.
That was
right.
Yep.
Right. And I think that was the Eddie Alvarez Gaethje fight where Eddie Alvarez had a massive eyeball. I can't remember, dude. It's been a minute. But that was fucking cool. That was last year, so I got to meet Jesse, and I don't know. We might fuck around and all meet up this year at some point. We're working on it. We'll let you guys know.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Let the cat out of the bag. At the end of the year, the beginning. Listen. The moment for 2019, October, we are all going to actually hook up in Vegas. So any of you fucking scumbags that are actually around and in Vegas in October, come the fuck through. We're going to hook up in Vegas, hopefully go to a UFC event. And I'm not going to make my avatar a picture of us because I'm not a shitbird. But I'm sure Jesus will have a nice picture of my funny white mug in his next avatar pic.
There you go. November. All right. Yeah. No, you know what, man? I think my favorite thing about this year is like, besides, as far as like doing this shit goes, is just like the fact that we could do this and still have fun with it. Like we never got tired of it. You know what I mean? And we, all three of us have had changes in our lives this whole year. Like something went, happened, whatever, but we still like, we could like still do this shit. Like we're kicking back, shooting the shit. Right. Yes, and yeah, I mean, and even when, for example, like, Jesse's got, as far as career goes, he got even harder for him, but he's still doing it. And, you got your Gem City Jesus podcast, which, by the way, they were talking about in the comment section, asking when the fuck that's going to go down.
We're working on it, son. We're working on it. Like you said, man, life is hard. It's hard to get together and do these things and make a commitment to doing them.
Yeah, Raider said, when we going to get some local shit and stuff? And Gary responded, the fuzz keeps canceling on us. Hopefully tomorrow, though. There you go. All right, folks. So yeah, we were gonna do this last Wednesday, but obviously, we wanted to get 232 out of the way before we did our end of the year awards in case anything took over that. But yeah, awesome fucking year. You guys are the shit. Look forward to this year with you guys. All right. So actually, give out your social media real quick.
You can find me at the MMA Nerd on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and I put out new episodes the Wednesday night before every UFC event. So you can always find me on iTunes or Twitter.
All right. So definitely check that out. Fred Kirby is at Kirby_MMA. Jesse is at Spawat1983. I'm at Elo31. The show is at Keyboard MMA. Shout out to SpicePros.com. Shout out to RepTheWarriors.com. Fucking awesome year. So, all right. So this should have been last week, but we're going to keep it going. You guys are the shit. Catch you guys next week. Good night, Wilshire.